shalom in the home, and I feel a little bit like a gangsta, like a wiggity wiggity whack, what is it, DJ in the house, DJ Chappy in the house, to talk about today's readings. They're amazing readings and so profound for today because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, we are born in a society that teaches us to separate and teaches us, unfortunately, to hate and to categorize people based on how they look and what they wear and how much money they make and what they deserve. And we have this culture that really, really does not align with the gospel and does not align with what is life-giving. Our first reading today talks about bringing joy from darkness and how joy can come from darkness. But in order to realize this, we need a new way of seeing. The second reading is the reading from James. And in this one's really important because what happens is Jesus calls the people out on it, saying, hey man, we're supposed to be loving everybody, but I see you separating people by how they look, and you're treating the rich people really, really well and telling the poor people to go away, and the absolute opposite of what Jesus preaches for us to do and to give for giving life. And the key line, I think, is Jesus says, have you not made distinctions among yourselves and become judges? I'm going to come back to that because I want to say in the gospel, Jesus heals a man that is deaf, and he puts his fingers in his ear, and he doesn't say, now you may hear. He says to the man, be opened. Be opened. I think that is huge, because in order to truly be opened, we have to step back from our obsession of judging and of separating and of categorizing and of labeling and of saying, well, you have to fit here and there and there and this. No, 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 no. We can all just fit in an opened, boundless, compassionate love. No labels needed, no labels necessary. There's so much just a manifestation from our culture and not from God and God's love, because God's love is boundless and each and every individual is made in the image and likeness of God. And so what we find here, I think this beautiful, beautiful readings is we find that Jesus is calling us to stop judging, to stop pointing fingers, to stop separating each other into categories and trying to find specific labels and saying, well, you're in and you're out, and you got to be able to, if you want to be in my prayer club, you have to be able to jump up and down with, and pray. That no, Jesus is saying, look, you're still judging, you're still separating each other into categories. And I think that one of the most beautiful lessons that we can bring into our lives and try to incorporate into our lives from this weekend's readings is to know that in order for me to listen to Jesus, who says be opened, is to start living in love and less with an obsession of trying to label and trying to categorize and trying to be right, if you will, but instead to be love and to be opened and include. Now, that also includes things that have happened within our lives that we can tend to run from or try to push away. To be opened, we must know that, we must trust that God can bring light even from darkness, that God is the ultimate composter, if you will. From the crappiest times in our lives, God can bring beauty and life. If we can get away from judging it as something that is horrible and bad. So much of it comes down to how we see brothers and sisters. So from this weekend's readings, may you, if you catch yourself categorizing or trying to say somebody's worth by how much they make or what they look like or anything like that, or trying to label, may we have a moment to breathe and step back to that and say what Jesus said, which is, be opened. Grace and peace, friends.